a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
What's good? We back. We are back, man, for another edition of the 50 and 50 show. As you can see on the screen, man, my guy, the Severe Raider, man, is blessing the screen. Make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, myself, PharoahNFL, man, if you're nearby, man, make sure to clock in. That's what we say it on this channel, man, on the show. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. We appreciate everybody's patience. Another night edition of the show. You know what I mean? Shout out to the night crew, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. Look, we the people in the building, man. Oh, man, we can't even see that on the screen, man. Look at that, man. I got you, bro. I got you, man. But hopefully everybody has enjoyed their weekend. Obviously, it is Monday night, man. Hopefully everybody had a great day. But we got a lot to talk about as usual, man, on the 50-50 show, man. Hey, look, you know what we do on this channel, man. You know what we do on this show. You know what I'm saying? What we do is we like to talk about the Raiders, and that's the team that we're going to talk about, man. We appreciate we the people coming through. My guy Stern T, he says, "What's up, Walt?" Man, Walt's in the building. Oh man, snap! Raider Paul, man, starts it off right, man. What's going on? What's going on, man? What's going on, Paul, man? Appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, look. Hey, we are heavy. We are in the off season, bro. Like at the end of the day, like it is what it is. I always say this, man. Raiders are 365 days out the year. But I would say a guarantee is football. Like if there's nothing going on with the Raiders, man, there's something going on with the football, NFL,
all the time.
man, some crazy things happened over the weekend, man. Let's start off, man. Hey, man, RIP to one of the greatest players, I say in Cowboys history, one of the best offensive line in NFL history, man. Larry Allen passed away this weekend, man. It was crazy because last week I was literally watching a highlight of him where they were showing him, I guess, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just put that on the screen, man. Do less talking and show this, man, this highlight of him. Basically, I think it was a turnover. Let me see if I can start this up right here. All right. I'm going to put on the screen. Less talking, more showing, man. Look, I got y'all. All right. Damn, man. Look at that. All right, cool. All right. Let's
5 minutes left in the half, and that's not in the air.
see the interception. Guess who comes out of nowhere?
It's crazy, man.
But hey, one of the best offensive lines in football. That was just a play where, you don't normally see offensive linemen go down like 40, 50 yards down the field.
Chasing somebody down.
Chasing someone down. But the usual Larry Allen highlight is just a pancake. He got someone on the ground where he just all-time great, man. Died at the age of 52, man. RIP. You know what I mean? To one of the greatest offensive linemen. I know he's not a Raider, but still, man, I was surprised when, that was one of the surprises of the weekend for sure. I did not see that. Age 52, man. A young 52. Young 52.
Yeah, man, it's wild, man. That's wild. Man. Hey, cherish every moment, man. Cherish every moment.
Yeah, man. If like I said earlier, man, if y'all just joining us, make sure to hit that like button. Clock in, man. That's what we like to say on this channel, on this show. Clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. Let me go ahead and post. Let's actually talk about. Let's see here. I got Darren Waller, bro. Darren Waller chose to come out with a video. he chose to come out with a video, and you could tell things are heavy on his mind. And he came out, and I think you can clearly see that's probably Casey Plum, twin, double. I don't know what he was trying. We know what it is, man. We know what it is, and it was. I thought the funniest part of the video was him laying I guess Casey Plum was supposed to stab him in the back or something like that. He falls forward, and then he's on the ground, right? He's on the ground, and it's next to the shoreline, right?
To the tide,
the ocean tide. And this he I don't know if he was trying to make it dramatic. They should have edited that out. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro.
The water. He was literally trying to act like he was I guess reenact that he was supposed to be dead or just he can't move, but then the water hit his face.
Maybe that's like a plot twist. Guess what? I ain't dead.
Man, whoever is his editor, bro, needs to be fired, man, immediately. Bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Hey, yeah, Hatamaki in the building, man. 50-50, man. You already know, man. Oh yeah, we forgot to give the people the friendly reminder.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show.
There you go, man. Welcome to the 50-50 Show with my guy Zamir and the PharoahNFL. Hey, make sure, like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But yeah, man, that was a questionable video for sure. But the one thing I feel like, man, social media, and he's in a New York, he's in New York City, so everything is gonna be even more magnified.
Exactly.
And we could laugh about it or whatever, but I think Darren Waller just being himself. That's just who he is. Yeah. He's just letting it play out in the public eye, and people, man, they could be harsh, especially social media, man.
Yeah, man. Public opinion has changed on Darren Waller quickly, bro. Remember, just 3 years ago, everybody was, loving Darren Waller. Oh, he's overcome his addictions and battled his demons to become one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and he's a testament to what hard work and discipline can do for you. And now people are just dogging them on a daily basis. It's crazy, man. It is crazy, and I'm here for it. I am here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, hey,
It's
Rebel,
wild.
man, I don't know, man. He's saying can't wait to get that top 10 pick next year so we can get a QB. Damn. Like that, Rebel? Like that? Come on, man. You don't start off the show like that. This came through, man. Hey, look, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, man, I don't think we'll be. I think our defense is too good for us to have a top 10 pick next year. We didn't have a top 10 pick this year, so now, and I think we're gonna have a better team next year. So I don't think we'll have a top 10 pick, barring injury. I know we do need an upgrade at the quarterback position, in my opinion. I know a lot of fans in the Raider Nation, they have lots of faith in Aiden O'Connell. So ideally that's the guy that steps up, but I think the Raiders were looking for an upgrade this year, and if one materialized, if not for Atlanta Falcons pulling the rug right from under us, we would have likely have gone with Michael Penix. I think Schefter reported that as well. So, but I don't think we'll be a top 10 pick next year, man. I do not think we'll be a top 10 pick next year.
He said, yeah, like that. Hey, man, Rebel, man.
Hey, he's standing 10 toes down.
Hey, man, I respect it, man. Stand on what you say, man. He's standing on what he said. I hope not. Everything. If everything goes well, I mean, the Raiders, they continue to win, bro. Under AP. I mean, we saw a small sample size last season. I hopefully it continues, because at the very least, we want to say that we have a head coach. But I don't want us to be at the end of the year and have a little bit of doubt. Like, is AP the guy? Is he gonna stay? Is he gonna get fired? You know what I mean? There got to be a certain level of consistency with the Raiders, man. Salute Alfredo, man. Appreciate you coming through. But that's what I'm hoping. But hey, a lot of people want a quarterback, but in order to get a quarterback, usually you gotta be in the top half of the first round. I mean, you could pick a player after, like in later first round, or trade up, but it gets harder if you keep winning. Then that means you're gonna have a better record. It means that you're gonna probably pick in later in the first round, which is gonna be harder to get the top quarterbacks in the draft. But we'll see, man. That's a long way. Right now, I'm focused on can we get through the offseason, get to training camp, we stay healthy. There's so many things that got to go right for the Raiders to win. I just hope that everything works out their way at the end of the day, man. But Alfredo, you said Rebel Raider is a hardcore car fan. Is he? Are you big time? All right, man. Was good. Cool, Kev in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. My guy. What's going on? Then we got some crazy people in Trick City out here, man. They trying to trick it. Matt Manerovich says we will be 10-7 and get into the playoffs. Okay. All right,
Mr. Marinovich, we'll see.
Okay, but he thinks AP is going to be okay. You know what? This is kind of off topic, and we got more to talk about. We obviously talked about Larry Allen, RIP, man. He died at age 52 over the weekend. Darren Waller, it's saying, the reports are saying that he's set to retire. We'll see how that shakes out. You know what I mean? He come out with a bizarre video, but I hopefully he doesn't retire. I want to see. I feel like Darren Waller's a talented running back. I mean, not running back, but tight end. But tight end, it's just the last few years he couldn't stay healthy. Maybe.
Yeah.
Would you say that's just genetics? Like he just can't stay healthy because some people are more brittle, or do you think that like he's not putting that much work in the off season? It's kind of hard to say because we don't know, but sometimes you could tell. Like guys like Shaq, for example, if he was a better, harder worker outside of the court, maybe he would have had a longer career. You know what I mean? That's a basketball reference, but sometimes certain players they tend to be more brittle compared to other players. I mean, certain players are either like for example, like even Baron Davis. I'm thinking of basketball a lot, but Baron Davis is a good example. Like you could tell later in his career, he didn't really care about the game like that, and then he didn't put the extra effort. Do you see that with our guy?
I don't know if that's the case with Darren Waller. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever questioned his work ethic. I know people have questioned his toughness and his willingness to get on the field and play through some of the pain. But I think some of that has to do with, some of the demons that he's fought in the past and him not wanting to take painkillers and take those cortisol shots to go out there and play. So I think that affects him. But it seems that he is more passionate about, as Mr. AJ Simpson said. I think it seems like he's more passionate about music right now than he is about being a football player, which is probably the reason why he's going to retire, so he can focus full time. If he does indeed retire, but to focus full time on his music career. So, I mean, power to him. I think that is one of the best trades in the history of the Raiders. We got a 3rd-round pick for this guy to play 12 games where he was, middling at best, and then to retire the year after that. I think we definitely got the better of that trade.
Yeah. And just looking at, like, I could just pull up the Vinny, man, he makes a great point. I agree with this here, and you just made it right now. That's going to go down as a great trade for the Raiders. And let me post this real quick. Vinny said right here, it's kind of cut off here, but he says this will go down as a great trade for the Raiders. The money they traded to New York went to signing Jacoby Myers, and they got a 3rd-round pick as well. So, but you can also argue, and we can't get everything at the end of the day, man. But you can also argue that the Raiders probably should have traded him for a 2nd-round pick if the reports were true about him being linked to Green Bay during the trade deadline. And the Raiders chose not to trade him and not get a 2nd-round pick. But that being said, the way the trades worked out as far as the Giants and the Raiders are definitely winning the deal.
Yeah,
it's not even a question, man.
No question at all.
Yeah. So I mean, AJ Simpson, Darren Waller is a rapper now. That's funny. But hey, man, he's passionate about music. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I think there's some part of me is like everybody's overcritical too. They're super critical of like Darren Waller and everything that he's doing. I'm like, hey, why do y'all care? Who cares? Who cares at the end of the day? Like, I don't even care, man. I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think that he just going through what he's going through at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. But it's funny though. I ain't gonna lie. That part right there that I mentioned where he falls down on the beach and he's supposed to be. He was not moving, and then the water hit his face. He breaks character. I'm like, this should have been cut. This should have been cut.
That whole video was just that was a mistake, man. That whole video was. Yeah. I don't know who was on his team, but they should have. Like, look, bro.
He should fire.
Like,
you think he should fire everybody? You think
oh my
they
goodness,
should fire
bro.
Everybody on the team, just because
everybody, bro. Y'all got to go.
Matt Marinovich, man, shout out to you, man. He says AOC is improving. Minshew is mobile. Both will have the weapons to succeed with our top 10 defense. Okay, hey, man. I like that, man. I like that positive mindset right there. AOC's been proven. Minshew is mobile. I can get with that, and I don't think the offense or this team is going to be carried by the quarterback. That in order for them to win, I think it's going to be, like that's not the plan going into next season. The plan is don't turn the ball over, defense play well, run the ball, and let the playmakers make plays. Simple as that. Like, it's not going to be AOC has a 5 touchdown game and Raiders come back. Like, if that happens, cool. If that happens, I'm not mad at it, but I'm not expecting it. Like, and I don't think the Raiders are either, which is okay. The Raiders still can win. And then Rebel Raider says Waller done enough to get paid and dip out, collect the pension. There's that too. There's that too. But hey, man, that's them, man. Hey, that's a lot of players, man. Sometimes a lot of players don't. Not everybody has a 10, 15-year career, Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Like, he's talented. There's plenty of guys who are talented, but they didn't really. Would you say Waller fulfilled the talent, or he left something?
No, he left plenty on. He left plenty on the table. He left plenty on the table. There was that 2-year stretch where he kind of showed what he can be. And he was a late bloomer, so I mean he's a little bit older because I think he's been in the league 8 or 9 years already. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's like leaving the game young. It's just that he was a nobody for the beginning of his career. Then we caught lightning in the bottle with them those 2 years, and now the past 3-4 years he's kind of fizzled out. So it's not like he's some spring chicken out there like just giving up the game. I'm sure he's in his 30s. So at this point, he's like, look, I done enough damage to my body already. I've made enough money. Thank you, John Gruden and what's my man Dave Ziegler for hooking your boy up with these contracts y'all gave me, and now I can kind of ride off into the sunset, man, and be set for life and continue making some of the most subpar rap music I've ever heard in my life. So
yeah, man. Hey, look, he's doing what he's doing, man. Hey, I'll say a lot of people don't even have the heart though. They don't even have the heart to like actually even try something like that, like to put yourself out there, as far as even like something as simple as like doing YouTube, or even like putting out music, or even doing like stand up, going in front of people, talking. Like a lot of people don't got that heart, bro. So you can't get mad at it. You can't get mad at it. But it could be funny. Don't get me wrong. I'm not lying. I could laugh. Like this would be some funny shit. Just like someone could laugh at anything that I do or the next person does. But at the end of the day, both can be true. Both can be true. But my guy Daniel Kim in the building, man. He says, salute my brothers, late night. Woo! Cue the Arsenio Hall, man. Oh, he takes it way back. Okay.
Yeah, you get say if I say it was fair, like, well, you missed it. It was like, hoo. Some of the people in the chat don't know nothing about that.
Real men wear black. That's why Kingsbury backed out of the deal, because he knew they weren't going to get QB. Yeah, man. Probably maybe gave him second thoughts. Like, hey, look, I could go to Washington, who's picking number 2, and get a quarterback, because think about it. If you think about Kingsbury's situation, he has more to gain if, like, he's trying to revitalize his career as a coach in the NFL. And you would think like the last impression that people got was like his offense didn't work in the NFL. So if he can go to a team where he can mold a young quarterback, which is kind of like what a lot of coaches, especially offensive coaches or any coach would want, they want a young quarterback, young talent quarterback, because you have a chance to win. And hey, man, he got Jaden Daniels. We'll see how that works out, man. And that offense, I wonder what it's going to look like, man, in the NFL. Like air raid, there was that. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted Kingsbury when the Raiders made that offer. I'm like, all right, cool. It actually went against what I thought about AP, because automatically everybody was connecting him to offensive coaches that ran the ball well. And, like Kingsbury was kind of like, oh, damn, okay. At least, AP was thinking, all right, we need some like a sophisticated offense to go along with a young QB. You know what I mean? But it didn't happen. It didn't work out. And then he actually kind of proved me right when he went with the OC with the Bears.
Man, to think about how hard, pause, but Tom Telesco finessed Mark Davis, bro. Like Tom Telesco super finessed Mark Davis, bro.
I should have played this right here, man.
Man, Tom Telesco finessed Mark Davis like a professional. Remember, like the whole thing we was talking about was, hey, you know what? Tom Telesco's, hey, he has a plan to get a quarterback, and this dude goes out and gets Gardner. His plan to get a quarterback was Gardner Minshew. Like, oh man, like,
I mean, hey, look. I think. All right, I'll play the other side because I can see what happened. Like, what were the options in QB free agency? The free agent quarterbacks that were available. What were the options? I don't want no long-term deal with Kirk Cousins. I'm not gonna lie. Coming off an Achilles injury at age 35. So I'm glad he didn't do that. Then you look at the other. He probably could have went cheap. He probably could have went Jacoby Brissett, went cheap. But who was more on the upwards swing? Who would it be? A Jacoby Brissett, where we haven't seen, we've seen him as a backup. I think he's a solid backup. But then like Minshew is coming off a season where he had some starter experience. They almost went to the playoffs. And Telesco's probably thinking like, all right, we're not telling him to carry the team. We're just telling him to do what he did with the Colts, and we're good enough to win. And then you got AOC too, that got something to say about it. So I can see it from that perspective too, but it's just like, man, you praying that everything works out, please.
I just think he finna. Like Brissett was the guy I wanted last year. Like instead of Jimmy G, Brissett was the guy I wanted last year. You know, was a guy that was familiar with McDaniels, had some success in that system, was mobile, was a leader, all that stuff. He was the guy I wanted last year. Not necessarily a guy that I don't know if he would have fit what we were doing this year or not. But I mean, I think when Mark Davis was interviewing these guys about the GM position, you know, he wasn't thinking free agency quarterback, right? You know, because we already knew Kirk Cousins was either. I mean, I think most people figured he was going to stay with Minnesota, and if he left, it was going to be kind of out of our price range. Russell Wilson was a guy I talked about. I think you talked about him a little bit as well. I know Big Mike brought him up. You know, we thought that would have been a solid fit, nice bridge quarterback. Even if that bridge is still to Aiden O'Connell, it's, you know, still a nice, you know, veteran in there to kind of provide better competition for him, I think, and actually, you know, have some success. I think he had some success last year. But we were all thinking the draft. You know, we had pegged Jaden Daniels early. I pegged, you know, Michael Penix as well as those two guys I wanted. So I think thinking was that, you know what, we were going to get an aggressive Tom Telesco, and Tom Telesco he did what Tom Telesco does, and that was be extra vanilla. Like, you know, he goes to Baskin Robbins and they ask him what he want on his vanilla. He says more vanilla. Like that's what like his toppers are vanilla.
Mike, hey, look, on that note, man, hey, Raiders Smoke, man, my guy, appreciate you. He says, what's up, my guys? Waller on the Heartbreak Hotel hype. Yeah, man. he's hurting right now, and he's letting everybody know, man, about his pain. And people are pointing and laughing. That's the world is messed up, bro. Man, that's why you cry behind closed doors, man. If you do that shit, and like, man, especially when you're in the public eye, it like people are ruthless. They're
ruthless, bro.
Ruthless, bro. Because they're never gonna. There's no context. Like they're just gonna look at it from a surface level. They're never gonna know, like, hey, you know what? Maybe this and this happened. That's the reason why. Like, you know, you don't know the whole story, so why are you kind of judging it? But on social media, people they read the headline and then they cast the judgment, man. So that's man. That's why you gotta keep that man to yourself.
If I'm Darren Waller, I'm still relatively young. I'm in great shape. I'm a professional athlete with millions of dollars in one of the most high-profile cities in the world. Like, bro, I'm not losing no sleep. I'm not losing no sleep at all. I'm going to, I don't know what club is popping out in New York, but I'm hitting that thing up the next day with the shirt on that says I'm single. And
oh, damn. Hey, this setup was crazy. Hey, man, you know, hey, look. Hey, he's going through it. But, hey, just to move it along, man, hey, look, man, we're not going to stay. Darren Waller is not a Raider. You know what I mean? Much respect to him. He's going through it, man. You know, hopefully he gets through it or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, we're here to talk about the Raiders. And Raiders got $34 million in cap space with the June 1st cuts. You know, I think Garoppolo officially being cut. And they're able to, I believe, split his contract or cap hit. So that gives the Raiders some more cap space. 34 mil. Do you see the Raiders making any moves? I'm trying, you know, we talked about it a little bit after the draft. If they do, for me, I'm looking at corner, like throwing another corner to that room because I'm not 100% sure. Like I would like a veteran corner, just throw it in there, some cheap contract, but you know we'll see. But what are your thoughts, man, on cap space? And I think we'll talk about, and you could talk about it too. Go ahead. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, man. There's not really any player out there that I would really have us targeting for the most part. Definitely corner. I know a lot of people want Xavier Howard. I'm kind of cool on Xavier Howard. I know one person wants Stephon Gilmore. I'm super cool on Stephon Gilmore too. If it was for
Hey man, that was a man.
man,
Personal foul.
I
We're
wouldn't
not there yet.
mind.
We're not there
I wouldn't mind Adoree. Just Adoree can't stay healthy. Adoree is a crazy athlete. He has some return ability as well, but he just can't stay healthy. But I think he's the youngest of that grouping as well. So those are the guys I think most people will be targeting. Of those three, Adoree would be the guy I would look at first. But it's not really a lot of people out there that I would really have any real interest in, to be honest with you, man. I think we kind of solidified, unless you want to go after if there's any free agent running backs out there, maybe add another some a little bit more competition to that room, maybe some more competition to the offensive line group. But for the most part, man, maybe a linebacker. And I don't know if any of the linebackers that are out there, but for the most part, man, I think this team is pretty set. All the moves will be kind of moves around the edges.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, I think Walt and me on the same page on this, man. I wouldn't be mad at Stephon Gilmore, man. If you're looking at our cornerback room, it's pretty much young outside of Brandon Facyson. I think Facyson is under 30. So, it's not like he's like crazy old. So he's still in his athletic prime. I would say Gilmore would be a nice add, especially if you think about the experience that we have in the room and you add a guy that's a former defensive player of the year. I just like that. I like that. And there's a possibility that he doesn't make the team, but I think from what I'm hearing, he's waiting for the right opportunity to present itself, and he might want a little bit more than what the Raiders would even pay for a guy to come in. Just looking at how Telesco moves, he's a little conservative, so I'm not sure. Well, I wouldn't say conservative, but outside of the big-time contract that we gave to Christian Wilkins, we haven't been, like, giving out. And Minshew. But Minshew wasn't like, oh, my, like, what were they thinking paying Minshew that contract? It was like, high-end backup, low-end starter money. And then after that, it's been cheap contracts. So it's not like he's been handing money left and right. So I'm not sure if he's willing to give, but he has the money to. And it possibly can go to, extending some of the players that we have on our roster. And we'll save that for later. We'll talk about that in a second, man. But yeah, that's the Raiders cap space situation. They got $34 million in cap space because of June 1st cuts with Jimmy Garoppolo officially being cut. So we'll pay attention to that. Justin Jefferson did get some of that money that Vikings kind of, not Raiders. This is non-Raider news right here, but Justin Jefferson got 4 years, $140 million. He's getting paid. I think that might have been. If I got to look this up, did he get paid more guaranteed money than Kirk Cousins?
He got $110 million guaranteed. I don't recall how much Kirk Cousins got guaranteed, but Kirk Cousins. I think he has an out in his deal after the second year, so people are already speculating that after year 2, Michael Penix is going to be starting for the Falcons. So
all right. So Kirk Cousins got 4 years, $180 million deal contract, but it was $100 million guaranteed. And so, Justin Jefferson got 4 years, $140, but $110 million. So
110.
The NFL players and athletes, all they care about is the guaranteed money, and especially in NFL, the contracts, they're notoriously known for them not to be guaranteed. That's why, you could see contracts where, they signed them to a 5-year, 2-year deal, or 5-year or 4-year deal, but they only play out 2 years out of that contract or whatever the case may be. You always see the players don't really finish. That's why they always fight for that guaranteed money, because that's the money that they're going to get for sure. Yes. It's unlike baseball where they get. There's players that retired or get still paid by the team, because the contract they sent is like crazy, because baseball got that unlimited cap space, unlimited everything. But that being said, that's Justin Jefferson. He got paid. Is that a sign of the Raiders? Possibly, if we want to connect it back to the Raiders, does Devontae be like especially if Devontae has a big season, you think he's gonna take a pay cut? I don't think so.
Nah.
That's why I'm like, hey, Devontae's situation with the Raiders, I don't know, man. I don't want to put it in the universe, but I keep doing it because no one's really talking about that. It's like, is Telesco gonna continue to pay, Devontae according to his philosophy? I don't. He does pay receivers though.
Yeah,
he does pay receivers, but does he pay Devontae type money? Or Justin Jefferson type money. I mean, he's a little older, so maybe his market would go down a little bit compared to like a guy that's in his prime and Justin Jefferson. But we'll see how that shakes out, man. We'll see how that shakes out, man.
I don't see him going anywhere, bro. I think we were in. If we this was the year for it to happen, right? We were in prime position. Aaron Rodgers with the Jets holding the 10th overall pick. Aaron Rodgers advocating for Devontae. Like, if we wanted to do something, like, this would have been the year to do it. And for us to not do it this year, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, man.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting, man. Because it's gonna be interesting. Because you know who has a big influence on who stays with the Raiders too. As much as we don't want to admit it, I think Mark Davis has a say too.
Yeah.
Mark Davis has a say. I think he has a say, bro. I think because he's a for sure. And I know, like, all right, he was close with Josh Jacobs. I think that could have helped a little bit. But if like Devontae, we all know, Mark Davis is the inside, but he's the biggest, receiver fan. AJ Simpson says, who's going to take that contract on, though? $44 million. Yeah, it is. 44 M's is no joke, man, especially for a receiver over 30 coming off one of the, one of the worst years of his career, but coming off a little bit of a take a step back year, I don't think nobody's going to pony up that kind of money. Yeah, no, facts, 100%. But let's move it along, man. Hey, man, it's everybody's favorite segment right here. Flag on the play.
69 offense. He was giving them the business.
He was giving them the business. In this case, this week, flag on the play, man, is pretty much Zamir White. He gets ranked number 32 in the NFL, and I'm gonna pull this up here if you want to talk about it, man. He 32 out of 32 teams as far as the running back, led by Zamir White. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I think it's a little too low, man. I can understand why they did it, but I don't think he's 32nd, to be honest with you, man. I for sure have him in front of Chuba Hubbard. That's like off top, bro. He's better than Chuba Hubbard. This is a hot take right here, but I think I have him in front of Najee Harris too. Hot take.
So but, you know who it was? You know, I didn't mention this. It was PFF. PFF ranked him 32 out of 32 running backs. Representing the starting running back. So PFF, you're gonna take that for however way you want to take it. But yeah, that shows that they're not really too big on Zamir White and the Raiders running back situation. But this is gonna be more fuel for Zamir. To be honest with you, number 3, he's changed his college back to his college number. You see the crazy workouts where he's just super hyped up. You see he's excited. He's for the opportunity. I think this is going to be a lot of fuel for Zamir White to prove everybody wrong. But it's a running back by committee situation. But we all know like it'd be led by Zamir. I say led by Zamir. Yeah. But we'll see what happens next year. That's one of the biggest question marks too on the team. I've said the OC. The running back, obviously quarterback, those are like 3 big questions. There's more, but those are I think to me, in my opinion, those are like the 3 biggest where I'm like, I'm not 100% sure like how that's going to go. I mean, and that's going to determine the success of the team. So thinking about it like, well, and let's play the other side. Like, let's think about like the running backs from some of these teams. If you look at the, you look at the Chargers, they got a question mark. You know,
big question mark.
Gus Edwards is solid. He's not a bad running back.
Yeah, but he's a guy that's also been a number 2 guy for the most part his entire career. I think he had a short stint being a number 1 guy, and he was semi-productive, but that was years ago, and he's been number 2 ever since then. So, you know, like I don't know, like it's a lot of question marks.
So look, I'm going with the teams that they ranked ahead of the Raiders. So number 32 is Zamir White, Gus Edwards. Man, I'm taking Zamir. I don't care, man.
I'm taking Zamir.
Devin Singletary. And Singletary played well for the Texans last year, and he's now with the Giants, back with the Giants, reunited with his old offensive coach.
Off talent, I'm taking a Zamir White. Now, Devin Singletary was pretty productive last year in a pretty good situation, that too, you know, with CJ Stroud and the threat that you know, Nico Collins and Tank Dale, you know, posed. I think he was going against some light boxes, but he wasn't even supposed to be the number 1 guy going into the season, so he was kind of a backup that had a solid season. I think I'm still taking Zamir.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at some of these running backs that they have it on Zamir. I feel like I think from his perspective, he needs experience. He needs to show it. But I could see how Zamir could feel disrespected. He could be like, Gus Edwards, you know what I mean? You got Chuba Hubbard, or you know,
he's for sure better than Chuba Hubbard.
Rashad White from Tampa Bay, like what? Like,
Rashad White, come on now.
You know what
Rashad White didn't have a bad year. He didn't have that bad of a year.
He didn't have a bad year. Second year in the league, you know, Ramondre Stevenson at 25, you know, he's not bad, you know what I mean? And you got like James Cook. Austin Eckler is ranked ahead of him.
It's like, come on, Austin Eckler, maybe a few years ago.
But he's coming off of injuries, and he needs to stay healthy. But Joe Mixon, they have him at number 27. Like, damn, the disrespect for Joe Mixon is crazy.
Yeah.
But
he's coming off a down year, too, though. He's getting older, too.
Yeah. I like the situation. Man, Houston, that's a team to watch out for, right? Houston is one of them young, up-and-coming teams, man. They made the playoffs, and you just look at the team, the defense. You know, you got a defensive head coach. You know, he's going to have that defense playing well. And then, like, they upgraded that, the offensive weapons around the Texans, man, around, C.J. Stroud. Did you see that clip of Wallow trying to catch a pass from
Nah.
You didn't see that? He's trying to catch a pass from
C.J. Stroud?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh man, I'm about to play it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to look it up, man. But Rebel Raider says Labe is gonna be the guy. Let me put this. That's flag on the play, by the way. I think that's a flag, man. I think they're hating on Zamir, but you know, at the end of the day, Zamir got to prove it. He got to prove it. But Rebel Raider says Labe is going to be the guy in year 1 or 2. So he's a big. But
it's going to be a guy in a year or 2.
Okay. So you're not saying his rookie season he's going to come out. All right. Okay.
Yeah, in a year or 2. But I mean, Labe was I think it's Laube. I think they say Laube. He's a guy I talked about early on in the draft process. This guy, I'm really a fan of his skill set. Hopefully, he can be productive. Early on, add a little bit something. But I'm not expecting too much out of him this year, to be honest with you. Maybe a few receptions here and there, but I'm not expecting a whole lot this year. Maybe he contributes in the kicking game, but before this running game to work, Zamir White has to take what he did over those last games when Josh Jacobs was down for the count, and he has to extrapolate that over a 17-game season, and that's going to determine whether or not we have a solid running game or not.
Yeah, man, and it's tough though too for to expect anything from like an undrafted free agent. You don't plan for him to be the guy. Like usually when they come into the game, it's because of injuries and the team has no other choice. But like an undrafted free agent, not to say that it won't work out for him. It's possible. It's possible because
for Lauby,
no one has a scholarship at that running back position. It's not like it's like Josh Jacobs who's kind of earned a little bit of the seniority at that position, like where he's played well, he's proven. So we don't have to expect like, it's not like we expect Zamir White to just he's gonna be that guy. We think he is, but
man, I've been saying for 2 years. I've been saying for 2 years, man. He's like, this is the time, man. He has to. He's either gonna prove me right or prove me wrong. And I was saying all he needed was a chance. And he got a chance, and I think he kind of ran with it. I think that Chiefs game was a signature performance, and I think that kind of boosted his confidence. And if he can do that, if he and he's been talking confidently this offseason. You've seen, you saw him, the bicep curls. He's in there talking. Somebody got to do it. So
Hey, oh man, it's funny. I'm gonna play this real quick. I'm gonna play a couple of clips because I don't care, man. We gotta keep it fresh, man, and real. So this is CJ Stroud on shout out to $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and it looks like they're like in some type of like, I don't know if it's a condo, apartment, whatever, and CJ Stroud is throwing a pass to Waller, and Waller's supposed to catch it. Like, I guess it's his experience catching a ball from an NFL quarterback.
Is he throwing the bullet though? Did he throw a bullet at him or something?
I'm gonna play it real quick. You gonna see. It's not gonna show the whole thing. Damn, man.
They hated on this. They hated on this.
Hold on. Let me see if I could
zoom that thing. Zoom that thing out a little bit.
Yeah, this.
Oh yeah, I could tell he about to drop this thing. He looked like he about to drop it.
His body language, like he like,
he looked like he about to drop it, bro.
Hold on.
Bro, out here looking like Ricky Dudley.
All right, cool.
Now from the back right there, he kind of looked like Hugh Jackson.
Hey man, he said he looked like Hugh Jackson.
Man.
Hey man, that's cold, man. That's funny. All right, all right. Look. Hey, we trying to make this work, man. So look, this is Wallow, one of the hosts of $1 Million Worth of Game, man. Shout out to them. And this is CJ Stroud right here, and he's trying to throw a pass. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and Wallow's supposed to catch this.
Oh, bro, he got the gloves on too, bro. That's what makes it so.
He got the gloves.
It's behind the TV. Hey, run that back.
He got the gloves on.
No, I got that. Where's it at?
Behind the TV.
Run that
So
back.
you will really throw it that fast to somebody this close?
Nah, hell no.
All right.
I ain't gonna kill nobody. If I got to, like, fit in the window.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, come on.
You catch this, I give you $1,000, nigga. Look, you running, you bitch. Look,
Come on. He trying to aim and say goodbye.
No, I got it.
No, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Put it to all of you.
I'm gonna get it. Come on. I'm gonna get it. Come on. Move, Gil.
You ready?
Yeah, come on.
He's really trying to. Nah, I think sometimes I be like, he be doing the show on purpose.
He is
He's doing it on purpose, but it's funny. It's funny. I don't know why.
That's hilarious, bro.
That's just funny.
That is hilarious.
Oh, but this is another. Let's check out the podcast, man. But this is another one where CJ Stroud. Shout out to him, man. Hey, look, one of the young up and coming quarterbacks in the league. He names his top 5 quarterbacks.
Should have been a Raider.
Man, damn, man. We gonna get one of those one day, man. Hopefully, it happens next season with AOC or Garmin Minshew, but
hopefully
one of these days,
if that happens with one of those,
franchise quarterback, man. We need a guy where we know at quarterback. All right, you know what? We could win. There's a chance the Raiders could win a Super Bowl with this guy, but hopefully he's on the roster.
Come on,
this is CJ Stroud. This is not CJ Stroud. This is
That looks.
Do not confuse this with CJ Stroud. I'm not saying
strange as hell. He looks like a street poet.
Oh man, you hella funny, bro. But look, he said a street poet.
Oh no, I'm tripping. Let me go. I'm going.
This CJ Stroud,
Final 5.
top 5 quarterback.
Mahomes, Lamar, myself, Dak.
Joey B.
No, he didn't really play last year. And then Hurts.
Dak,
Yeah, bro.
Dak.
Dak, that boy. Y'all not gonna say that because he ain't won the big one yet.
You said Matthew Stafford?
Yeah,
It's
Matthew,
the
but
Cowboys
he
thing.
was top 5 last year.
Cowboys thing.
Bro, you gonna put Dak Prescott in there over Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I got.
I'm saying that for last year, dog. He ain't play all year.
So what do you think of that, bro? He said
he's going strictly off of what last year. So
he's going off straight last year, and technically Joe Burrow was hurt last year.
He was hurt all of last year. Even with that, I would put Jared Goff over Dak, and I would put Jared Goff over Hurts. Yeah, just all right. Those right there. I will put Goff over Dak and over Hurts. I'm trying to think. There's probably somebody else in there I throw over those guys too, but just on the top of my head for sure. I mean, how you not have had Jared Goff up there?
Yeah, the thing about Dak,
If you just going last year,
you think about Dak, what hurts him is the playoffs.
Yeah,
playoffs, and like he's kind of inconsistent too at times. Like he's played great, like he's played well, but then also I think after that injury, he just wasn't the same. I don't know, to me. After he like messed up his ankle, you know,
after he got that money, after he got that shmoney.
Man, you ain't lying about that one right there, man. But my guy, Raider Smoke, man, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate the super chat. He says, hot take, Dylan Lobby will get more carries and will be used more than Madison this year. Ooh, man.
That's a very hot take.
Man, that's definitely a hot take right there. Man,
that's super hot take.
Undrafted free agent, man. But we'll see, man. If that happens, that means we got something in Dylan Lobby. Like if he beats out the running backs that we have on our roster as far as the depth chart goes, and he gets to as high as the number 2 back coming out, like, that means I think if he can just be a real good contributor in special teams, I'll take that. And when I say special teams, I mean like his experience is returning the football, especially with the rule change, and he could be a factor. That will be a huge, huge plus. That's all he has to do. To make a really big impact on the team. But if he can impact the offense, and you know, that's one of the things that the beat writer said. It's early, it's OTAs, but they said Lobby was looking like real deal. He was looking pretty official as far as how the Raiders were using him, moving him around. So I see where you're going with this. Raider Smoke, man. Appreciate the super chat. But let's get back on topic, man. Let's get back on topic. We over here. We were looking at the CJ Stroud top 5. To me the questionable one was definitely having Dak in the top 5 show. I don't know. Maybe he just thinks, you know, that's his guy. He was vouching for it, but you know, at the end of the day, like
people compared him to Dak when he was coming into the league. People compared him to Dak. Some people compared him to Dak. So I mean, maybe it's a little bit of that where he has an affinity for his game because. But even then, bro, I couldn't. Like I said, I'd have if you just going off last year, not over who's the best, just off who had the best years last year. Clearly, Jared Goff over Dak Prescott.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's Okay. All right. Well, we got notable quotables. Did you send? Did you actually send the clip for the second clip for notable quotables?
Yeah.
Is it the last one? The last one?
Yep, the last one.
All right, cool. I just want to double check. All right, so I'm gonna play DJ Glaze, man, and he talks about the culture, Raiders culture here, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the click.
That name, bro.
Hold on. My bad, y'all. My bad. Let me get it together real quick. My bad, y'all. Let's get it together here. I just had the clip. Here goes DJ Glaze.
Kind of what I'm hearing right now.
Man, what's going on? I have some technical issues. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let's see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From kind of what I'm hearing, like, there's no culture better than this right now. Like you said, you don't see that everywhere where guys are willing to, like, we're going to compete, but I'm also going to help you get better. And, like, young guys just come in willing to work. Nobody complains. Like, I haven't heard anybody complain yet. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, we all want to get better. We all want to push each other. And like you said, that starts with the culture. Like, Coach AP laid the right foundation, and guys are willing to buy in. So that's what helps drive that.
So that was the young offensive line, the rookie offensive lineman, and DJ Glaze, guy that they drafted in the 3rd round, talking about the culture and AP. Do you believe in what he had to say? Was it like, like it's just another game, or do you feel like it was one of those, or do you think that was real genuine what he was talking about as far as the team and the culture that AP built, and just believing that players on the team are actually trying to get better? Do you believe what he's saying, or is he kind of going through the motions and saying what everybody wants to hear? Because sometimes I always question, like, when you hear the same thing over, it's just another game. We just got to focus. We got the right mindset. Just do you believe that he's all in? I mean, he has no choice, but.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, man, I believe it. I mean, I think we've been hearing that a lot from the veterans as well. Like him coming in as a rookie, he really doesn't know what the NFL is like. His first exposure to the NFL is what he's seeing right now. So he wouldn't know how a locker room is supposed to operate, right? What he's seeing is the first experience that he has. So look, that's what he's going to assume what the NFL is. But other guys that have been other places, they've been saying the same thing, So I think that's a testament to what Antonio Pierce is doing, the kind of culture that he's building, and not only a culture of camaraderie, but a culture where guys feel, comfortable, and there's a willingness for everybody to help one another. And I think, when you have that kind of synergy going into the season, I think that can lead to big things, man. So I just think that the energy coming out of the OTAs is great right now. Hopefully they carry that same energy in a training camp, and then they carry that same energy from training camp into the regular season.
Yeah. And where there's smoke, there's fire, man. And I think players have been talking about that since last season. So for the guy coming in, he kind of like, he's seeing how the locker room and the chemistry and the players are getting along, and people are all in and stuff like that. So you're hearing all the right things. I think it's just that time of year where you're hearing all the right things coming from the team and stuff like that. Especially, it's like night and day from what McDaniels, culture and team, like, it's like a complete difference when you hear players talk about the team and stuff like that. And it's good to hear. It's good to hear. But it's also one of those, you kind of think about it and be like, well, he's probably going through the motions. I want to hear some adversity. I want to see what happens during adversity and what players say too. Sometimes you can hear the truth in that. But Space Beast, man. Look, Space Beast says Madison looks small on a podium after Zeus was up there, man. Zeus, man, the name is fitting, man. He's a big dude. He's built to play that running back position. I'll say that. He looks like it, at least, at the very least. Like he has to show that and prove that next season, which, he's planning for. Rebel Raider says Zeus going to have well over 1,000 yards unless we go with a committee approach. We'll see. I mean, the Raiders let Josh Jacobs go, so they have faith in the running backs that's on the roster, and this is, I mean, they signed Madison, but they were in no rush to sign Madison. It's not like Madison was like the second free agent signing. Like he came a month after free agency or a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks.
He came relatively late. We got some of the other bigger guys out of the way first. Some of the bigger acquisitions.
So that says a lot about Zeus, you know what I mean? Zamir White, like that says a lot about him because they're comfortable with him, but they just probably wanted to add more talent in that room, a little bit more veteran experience, a guy that's been successful in that system, that offensive system that Lou Getsy runs. And, you know, if everything is true from what, you know, we're hearing about the offense, they're going to run a zone blocking system where we know a guy like Madison has experience in. So it made total sense, but it's the Zamir White show, at least to begin with. It's going to be the Zamir White show. Let's line. Man, Alfredo says PFF is garbage. Yeah, I mean,
they're good for what they're good for. They're good for what they're good for.
Yeah, you just got to take the good. You just got to take the good and leave the bad. Like if you don't agree with, like, there's certain things where I'm like, I don't know if this player is as productive as they saying they are, but sometimes they're dead on some of the stuff that they say. So you just gotta you gotta read between the lines. AJ Simpson again says, I respect the way Houston and the Colts have been building their teams. Yeah, man. The GMs there, man, they're making the right moves. That's why I'm hoping Telesco is going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Raider, man. I as a GM for the Raiders. That's what I'm hoping.
Hopefully.
Man, having a great GM, it almost kind of, I don't want to say guarantees you, but like you start drafting a lot better when you have a GM and start making the right moves, be on the winner of a lot of those trades and those big transactions. So, you know, we've had instability at head coach, GM, and quarterback. Well, I'll say
most important positions.
I'll say head coach and GM. As of recently, the quarterback, because last 9 years, you know, Derek Carr was the quarterback, so that's what it was. But you got Space Beast. He says Diggs, Vikings, Mixon, go for it. The Mixon, they go for it. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Ray Love in the building, man. My guy coming through.
Oh, he talking about they got with the Houston Texans. They picked up Stephon Diggs, Daniil Hunter, Joe Mixon. Like they're gone. They're trying to win. Win, and that's usually what you do when you have a young star quarterback that you feel is your franchise guy. You kind of get more aggressive. So like, I mean, if Aiden O'Connell flips a switch this year and he turns into, you know, what CJ Stroud was last year, I think the Raiders are going to get uber aggressive in free agency, and they're going to try to win in this window that they have while he's still on that cheap deal. So I think that's what Houston is doing. I think that's the smart thing. Right now, we're being a little more frugal. Like there were some other options out there in free agency outside of Christian Wilkins on the offensive side of the ball that we could have probably spent money on, but we were a little, like I said, we're more frugal. I think Alexander Madison was a solid pickup at running back, but there were some big names out there. And maybe if we were really big game hunting, we would have went for a big name to pair with Zamir White instead of a guy that is very solid pickup, but I don't think anybody would have had him as like the number one, running back on their board. So I think we're being smart right now. But if AOC is that guy, we'll get real aggressive.
Hey man, I'm behind in the chat, man. I'm cracking up at some of those comments, man. This is from earlier. AJ Simpson's dying off the Hugh Jackson remark. Raiders smoke cars. He says Darvin Ham head ass. Oh man, hey man, I'm trying to catch up in the chat, man. I'm trying to.
Both
hey
unemployed.
Man. Yes, for sure. Yeah, but yeah, let's moving along, man. We got more notable quotables, man. And the second quotable, man. This is actually from the recent, shout out to the Rush Podcast, Mad Max and company were able to get Nate Hobbs, the slot corner, the slot corner for the Las Vegas Raiders. And he was able to come through and have a conversation with them. And here's a notable quotable from that interview where he starts talking about like the underrated players on the team. I think specifically the defense, right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and play that clip.
And we got so many players on our team, bro. That's they might not be a household name, but the people in the league, they know them.
100%.
They know them.
Yep.
And they a playmaker, a real one, like the Jack Joneses. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Boy,
Player.
Yes,
bro.
Like different. Like can win his one-on-one matchup with anybody at any given time. Brandon Faison.
That's my dog,
bro. My
face.
My rookie year, bro. Shit he was doing, like
he was locking shit.
People just don't know that. Like who's just 35 on the Raiders, bro? Go turn on that 31 clip, that 31 tape. My rookie year, that 2020, 2021, 2022 season.
Yeah.
That boy was going head to head with Tyreek Hill, Mike Williams, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith. And we got so many players on our team, bro. That's they might
look. So, you know, this is another one of those like, yeah, he's definitely calling him out, and he also talked about Jacorian Bennett as well, being a guy that like he was, one of the young players. I think rookie from last year. Like he felt like really surprised him and stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, these guys are all teammates. You know what I mean? They're not gonna say nothing crazy. So you know, I think it's good that like you know he supports the guys on his team but I still look at that outside corner spot as a big question mark. Like who's gonna be the guy out there? Like is it gonna be Jacorian Bennett? Is it gonna be Brandon Faison? Or is it gonna be a vet? I should put that in a poll. I'm gonna put that in the chat, man. I'm gonna put that in a poll for y'all to. I want to hear from y'all, man. I want to see what y'all have to say about that. Like, who do you think Brandon Faison is gonna win that battle at corner? Is it gonna be, you know, Jacorian Bennett, or is it gonna be a veteran cornerback? I mean, who do you see? How do you see that cornerback? If you had to just guess right now, I mean, anything happen between now and game 1 of the regular season, but who would you guess would be the starting corner for the Raiders on the other side of Jack Jones?
If I had to guess, I would say it's Brandon Faison. If I had my options of who I wanted to be, I wanted to be Jacorian Bennett just because he's a younger option. I think he offers a little bit more athletically. And we have more control over him, for a longer period of time on a relatively cheap deal. So ideally it would be Jacorian Bennett. But if I had to guess who was going to win it, I would say, Brandon Faison with his measurables and his veteran savvy. I think he'll probably be the guy to win the job.
Faison?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say it'll be him. I want it to be Bennett. I'm hoping it's Bennett, but I have a feeling it's gonna be Faison.
I'm hoping for Bennett too. I'm hoping for Bennett because I think he has the tools, but
yeah.
And he kind of hit that rookie wall a little bit. Like, it just felt like he was trying to figure out that position, that corner spot. You know what I mean? Because I felt like teams were attacking him, especially in the fourth quarter. People like I always bring it back to like that games like the Patriots, right? Obviously, we remember that game. We remember Max Crosby ending the game with basically a safety. And the dagger of the game, he sacks him. But right before that play, Devontae Parker, who is now retired from the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's retired, shout out to him. But he beats him off the line. You know what I mean? Gets a release, boom, gets up top of him, and my guy had him beat deep, and he dropped the ball. It's crazy, man. To get the NFL is a game of inches, bro. Like everything has to go right. The quarterback has to get protected, passes needs to be accurate, and the player needs to catch the football, make a play with it, whatever the case may be. But man, that's crazy. But that was an example of that happening like a lot during the season.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the reason why I keep harping on I want us to draft the corner. So I had DeQuinion Mitchell, when we couldn't get a quarterback. that was the guy I had kind of circled. Like, you know what? This is the guy I wanted to draft. He was my number 2 defensive prospect behind Latu. Well, him and Latu was basically like 1A, 1B. Those were my 2 guys. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully, you know, we got the Cameron Richardson, who, you know, I wasn't a big fan of that particular pick. Guy has all the measurables that you want, but he seems another guy that seems kind of like a project. So kind of see. I like Devonshire out of the 7. I think that's a guy that, you know, he's a really smooth athlete, shows some real good cover skills. So maybe he's a guy that can make some noise at the cornerback position, hopefully. But for the time being, man, it's looking like it's going to be a race mainly between Faison and Bennett if we don't get a free agent.
Yeah, because we can't talk about players that's not on the team, and we don't know if it's going to happen, especially because at this point, like, they're waiting for they'll definitely sign a vet cornerback at the right price.
Yeah,
and we'll see. I think we didn't mention Xavier Howard. We didn't mention Stevie Nelson. These are all guys available, you know. So
Stevie Nelson is a guy. Yeah, I know that's a guy. I think that's another guy that when they were talking about cornerbacks in the league that were vets that they liked. I think Stevie Nelson was a guy that they brought up as well. So I believe he's still out there too.
Yeah. Ray Love, this is from earlier, man. So I want to catch up to the chat, man. I appreciate everybody coming through and supporting, man. Just make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We are going live. Clock in. You know what I mean? If it's that time, make sure to clock out, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We are going live on both our channels. So if you're watching me, make sure to hit the like button, but also head over to Severe Raiders channel and make sure to like his video as well and subscribe if you haven't already. And the same goes for my channel as well. So, like, hey, look, you know, we like to do this every Monday, but we need y'all support. So make sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification bell so you'll be notified every time we go live and drop that new content. Let's see. Walt, man, always trying to start stuff. Oh man, we got one of these, man. You know, I think we might need one of the. We might need to sound the alarms, man. And we got the enemy is in the chat, y'all. The night crew, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I did not know. Sancho, he says Raiders won't do this year just like every other year that will choke. All right, man. I understand, man. I understand. You couldn't help it, bro. Couldn't help it, man. But it's all good. That's enough. That's enough attention I'm gonna give that, man.
Yeah, it's becoming a yearly tradition to watch the 49ers lose in the Super Bowl, man. It's like you set your watch to it.
I do not want to see the 49ers. But, you know, it was bittersweet, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't watch. Yeah. I don't know. Did I even watch the Super Bowl? I don't even know. I don't think I didn't even want to watch that game, man. You got the 49ers and the Chiefs playing. That's not going to be a game I can't even do it, man. I couldn't do it. I think I don't know. I was running some errands or something. I don't know if I watched the game, bro. I really didn't. That's how much that Raiders. Man, I'm a Raider fan, y'all. If y'all didn't know, man, I really. Did you watch the game?
I didn't watch. I was in and out of the game, bro. I really didn't watch much of it. To be honest with you.
In and out of the game, man. Who was you rooting for? Let me know who was you rooting for.
I mean, we already had this discussion, bro. I already said. I already told y'all who I was rooting for, man. I already made it clear. So you know,
it's all good. It's all good, man. But yeah, let's move it along, man. That wraps up notable quotables, by the way. And before we wrap it up, man, we got to get to this, man. What's real, what's not, man. If y'all don't know, y'all need to know, man. It's where we react to a statement, and we react. It's kind of like true or false, but instead we say what's real and what's not. And the statement here in a second is about the $34 million in cap space. It's a reference to that, man. The $34 million in cap space. And here's the statement. The Raiders will extend one of the trio of Kuntz, Hobbs, or Spillane before the season starts. Is that real or is it not?
I'm going to go real. I think they have to, man. I think they have to. Ideally, that's a tough decision, man, because all three of those guys I think are integral parts of the team. Just watching and hearing how close Max and Nate Hobbs are, I would think if Nate Hobbs had his if Max Crosby had his way, Nate Hobbs would be the guy that they re-signed as a cornerstone piece. I know kind of his injuries are going to play a part in that because he's been hurt basically every year. But part of the reason is because of his style of play. I mean, he leaves it all out there on the field. And him and Max Crosby basically said that that they were like brothers, brothers from another, man. So anytime you have that kind of relationship, you got a guy kind of in the front seven of defense and a guy that's like in the secondary. I think that's awesome. But pass rushers are valuable, man. Pass rushers are very valuable, and I think Kuntz is a guy that is just having that kind of presence opposite of Max Crosby just makes Max Crosby that much better. So, man, I think Kuntz would probably be the guy.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I think if you think about it, it makes sense. They got some money. And like they're gearing up for something. You know what I mean? Whether it's to have money maybe during training camp, so then you have that flexibility to sign some of these players. Some players get released, they get cut, they come available. Then you'll be able to have the cap space to sign certain players, especially if you have some type of injuries. But also, you can also extend the players that you already have. Yeah. And I like the idea of extending Kuntz, especially before he has another big year, a full season where he's definitely more confident than he was the first few seasons in the league. Like he kind of stepped up last season, especially the second half of the season, but it wasn't the whole season. So now he has another full season of starting football, because it looks like he's going to be starting on the outside of on the other side of Max Crosby. So I can see that happening. Spillane, he's essentially on a 1-year deal. He has 1 year. So, and if you look at our linebacker core, he's
the best by far.
Like unless someone steps up that's young and that's on a cheap rookie deal. They did draft a linebacker this year, but that might be too much to ask. It's possible. I mean, I don't know what would his contract even look like? A Spillane.
I don't know. I think of those three, he's the cheapest. So which may mean it'll be easier for him to get a deal done than the other two, just because the linebacker position is the running back position of the defense. Those guys it's getting cheaper and cheaper. Those guys are kind of being deemed as more and more replaceable. You kind of use them up, run them into these head-on collisions as many times as possible, and then kind of discard them for the next guy. So I think he'll probably be the easiest deal to get done in terms of the financials, but it just depends on what Tom Telesco wants at that position.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like I said, I could see it happening, but like, for how much? What are we looking for? Like Kuntz is going to get paid. He's just not going to be paid. Like if they do it now rather than later, and he has another good season.
Yeah. And
he compliments Max Crosby too, because he's like kind of like that explosive pass rusher on the other side, more of a guy. I just feel like he compliments him well, and what helps him out is that he got better against the run last season, so they were able to put him on the field a little bit more than they did in the past, not like in obvious passing situations, and he didn't play. So now he's able to play more, and you're going up against a guy you for sure probably have an idea of what you're going to do, how you're going to set him up, things like that, like more opportunities to do that. But yeah, man, we'll see, man. I think that definitely could be real. $34 million. Would you say the Raiders won the offseason if they're able to extend one of those three, at least one of those three, on top of their draft and free agency?
Won the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, you don't win in the offseason, but like having like I'll say like a great offseason. A great offseason.
I know what you mean. I mean, no, just for the simple fact that I wasn't a fan of the draft, first of all. So
really? I thought you gave it an A+. What are you talking about?
I think that's well documented. I think we might look back in 3-4 years and maybe say, okay, this was a solid draft, but for what we need next year, nah, it's not a fan of this draft. And then I just think, as somebody else alluded to before, man, I think Houston is knocking it out of the park, man. I think they're knocking it out of the park. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have done an excellent job. I think the coach have done well also. So I just think that, hey, you know.
Yeah, look. If they're able to extend, I think they kind of made some smart moves, man. Think about it. If they go after probably one of the best defensive players in free agency, and it fits one of their biggest needs on a team at defensive tackle. Complements Max Crosby well. You got inside pressure. The impact of Christian Wilkins, if he just does his job, that's all he has to do. He doesn't even have to be like a superstar. I mean, he's getting paid like a superstar, but I'm just saying, like, we all know the superstar on that D-line is Max Crosby. So a guy like Christian Wilkins, if he can make some type of impact inside, it's just going to open up so much. They're able to get that guy. They paid that guy, which I have no problem with. Then in the draft, if Bowers is a great offensive weapon, we're all talking. We just got done talking about, like, hey, Adams is probably going to be, he might be gone within the next couple of years because he's not going to be one. The Raiders definitely not going to pay that type of contract unless he restructures. Then you got a guy like Bowers waiting in the wing that potentially could potentially be that number one guy. Maybe not right off the gate, but he could possibly be that guy with the talent level that he was able to show in college, and then obviously he's now with the Raiders. So we'll see how that shakes out. It could be a nice little chess move, and then you get one of the biggest needs for a while now, that interior of the offensive line, center, offensive guard. Jackson Powers Johnson, and I think if anybody after that can be a huge contributor to this team this year, it's a W. And then you got extending one of the key guys on the team. I think that's a huge win, bro. I think that's big, man. That's smart. If you're able to get one of your, like Kuntz, if you sign him a year early before giving all that money, you know how pass rushers get paid.
Yeah, nah. I think it'll be a huge win, but I don't think we've if in terms of winning, I think will we have had the best offseason? And I think we've had a very effective offseason. I think the Christian Wilkins signing, like somebody's have pointed this out before. When is the last time we've had a defensive tackle anywhere near that caliber? Man, it's been a long time. And pairing him with what we already have in Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz, and what Tyree's developing into, I think that was the best free agent acquisition of the offseason. So if we're able to lock up a guy like Kuntz or like Spillane or like Hobbs, I think the offseason I think has already been a success. Now it's already been a success. I think that would just make it even more so.
Bro, if you're able to keep your good players, you're able to sustain that whole locker room, that team. Yeah. Like, you already know what type of player you already know what type of player he is. Like, you don't have to guess. Yeah. Like, because that's what happens in free agency sometimes. You bring a player that's foreign to your locker room. You don't know how it's going to work chemistry wise. It's still a risk. He may not get along with the players on the team. He might not get along, or he not fitting that offense. He may not get along with the head coach. But you already know what you have, and you already identify that, hey, Kuntz is a good player. Hobbs is a good player, and you're able to keep one of those players and just keep it going. Yeah, you all the great teams you see, like, they have really good chemistry. They, like, you could tell, like, they are a close-knit team from what it looks like from the outside looking in. But there is like the Shaqs and Kobe's. Like, I don't know if that. Yeah. What would be the comparison to the NFL as far as, like, the team not really getting along but they still win? What would be a good example of that? I think it's just hard to do that in the NFL, man.
It's hard to do that in the NFL. There's nothing I can think of off the top of my head this very second. I'm sure there's been some cases, though. I'm sure there's been some instances.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Nah.
Was Kelvin Benjamin on that team with the they didn't win a championship, but when Panthers went to the Super Bowl, was Kelvin Benjamin on that team?
Ooh, that's a good question. You talking about when Cam Newton was in the Super Bowl against Denver, I believe, or was it Seattle? Was Denver Seattle? I think it was Denver.
It was Denver. They lost to Denver.
Because Von Miller, like, I just remember Von Miller just going crazy.
Von Miller went eight shit in that Super Bowl. But I think that was...
So what was the year that Panthers went? Hey, Night Crew, help us out, man. Let us know, man. What was the year that the Panthers went to the Super Bowl? What year was that? Let's see. The Kelvin Benjamin. I actually want to look that up.
I think that would be one. Even though they didn't win it all, they won.
Was that 2015? 2015? Because that was like that might have been when like Peyton Manning was trash. Like you could tell. Like,
Peyton Manning was his neck. He had that fused neck.
The defense was carrying that team for sure.
Yeah, his intelligence and the defense is what carried that team because he was just his IQ was on another level. I'm trying to think another receiver core that didn't like each other or teammates that hated each other.
We had to watch the Broncos win a Super Bowl. That's ugly. And
that
the Chiefs.
was disgusting. We've had to watch the Broncos and the Chiefs.
We've had to watch
three Broncos Super Bowls,
2015.
a Seattle Super Bowl, and 2 Chiefs Super Bowls since we won one.
Hold on,
and then we already know that the Patriots, who we hate. So Kelvin Benjamin should have been on this team, right?
Look, so I'm looking at Kelvin Benjamin game logs. It says 2014, 2016, but he didn't play in 2015.
Did he not play? Did he get suspended or something like that?
I don't think because it says I think he was drafted in 2014 for the Panthers.
Yeah.
And then it didn't show 2015 at all, but it shows 2016 and 2017.
Interesting. Did he get suspended for the year? Or did he get hurt early on? I don't recall. I mean, I think you could look at Antonio Brown and whoever he's played for. His quarterback didn't get along.
Let's see. Let me.
Michael Thomas is another guy who didn't get along with anybody. I think he's a free agent right now.
He just always got that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, man, that's that LA stuff, man. That's the LA stuff.
He got that chip, man. But like, I think he wasn't ever the same when he got hurt.
Yeah, he never fully recovered.
Yeah. It was to the point where I think he was going to leave the Saints at one point. I mean, he left them this offseason.
He's going out. Yeah. He was trying to get out before.
Yeah, and that's when he was like fresh off that season that he had, like that great season he had with Drew Brees at quarterback, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't take long to start throwing car in the bus.
Yeah, but he's crazy though, man. He crazy.
He was live tweeting car disrespect. He was tweeting the car disrespect during games.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I wouldn't say he's crazy. I'll say this: he's not crazy. I think he didn't care. He didn't care.
He don't care, bro.
He don't care. And what people don't realize, a lot of players in the media, they're not gonna tell you I don't think they're gonna tell the truth. They're not gonna really tell how they really feel, what they talk about in the locker room, because just because people scrutinize things too much, like they too sensitive or they just, I don't know, they're not gonna do it, which I understand. But But yeah, man, hey man, we appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show, man. Great show. If you haven't already, man, like I said earlier, man, we are going live on both our channels. Make sure to hit that like button, clock in at this point, clock out, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. I'm trying to think, did we forget anything? Well, I know we just got done talking about, the players on the team getting extended. Let's get into the chat real quick. I kind of been Stern T, probably a Legion of Boom. Russ is unpopular. Oh, okay.
Oh, I think that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one, especially at a big position at quarterback too.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, because you hear the top players on the team talk about how much they didn't like Russell. I mean, I mean, I guess beast mode. Marshawn Lynch talked about how he wanted to talk to Russ because he wanted one of the 2 biggest leaders on the team, and he said Russell Wilson called him from a blocked number.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. I think that's a good one.
Did people get along with Big Ben? I don't know if people got along with Big Ben like that. I heard he was kind of a jerk.
How about McNabb? I think later on, things came out it seemed like I don't know if players liked him like that, or I don't know. I know he had with T.O.
He had a bad relationship. He had a bad relationship. I think
Douglas?
he had a bad relationship. Well, T.O. didn't get along with anybody. So
yeah.
But I heard he had a bad relationship with Deshaun Jackson too, though. But it's the same thing. Deshaun Jackson didn't really get along with anybody either. Though. So it's they're both both those guys are kind of prick. I think all 3 of those guys are prickly personalities for the most part.
Yeah. Alfredo says, the Steelers had a locker room problem, but still made the team. Yeah, when you talking about problem, you talking about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, hey, you got to give Tomlin some credit. I did not know Antonio Brown was this crazy. He went to hold it. You think it started with do you think that once it kind of got out of control, I think basically that's the reason why he traded him. He was like,
basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
And at the time,
I think Antonio Brown kind of forced his way up out of there too, though.
That's true. But at the time when the Raiders got him for a trade, I'm like, man, this dude Antonio Brown, you know how great of a player he is, and we were able to get him for a 3rd round. Man, the Raiders really won this deal. 3rd, 5th round pick. I thought like John Gruden and Mayock were geniuses. I was like, how the hell did they get Antonio Brown? This dude was coming off 6 years straight of 100 and something catches a season, averaging 1,300 yards. You know what I mean? I could show you the numbers. That's legendary 6-year stretch that he had.
Crazy.
And still was sought out. As much as we talk about Antonio Brown, later in his career was just doing all the most random things you could think of. Teams still wanted him on the team. You know what I mean? All the way to the very end where he just. Everybody remember that infamous Jets game where he runs off the field. Yeah. But yeah, that was probably one of the craziest Raiders. As much as there's so many things you could touch on as far as Raiders being I'm just trying to think. I think that Raiders situation might have been one of the crazy, most dysfunctional thing that ever happened. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's been some crazy Raider moments. We could be here all day thinking about it, but I could. But I'm just I just remember that. I always think about that Antonio Brown. So I'm like, how the hell he didn't play not one down? He planned that out.
He's lucky because if he had played, he would have got all that money. So him not playing allowed us to not give him that money, and then he tried to sue Mark Davis for it.
Yeah. But Stern T says, I had Antonio in a dynasty league, traded a Bronco fan for Emmanuel Sanders and had him in his prime.
Oh, damn. Wasn't Emmanuel Sanders, what you call it, too? Wasn't he a Steelers, too? Well, he was with the Steelers, right?
Who are you talking about?
Emmanuel Sanders. Was he with the Steelers for a little while? I remember they had the other receiver. Receiver.
Yeah. I mean, that's the wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is the Steelers,
remember they had that deep threat that they got rid of, and that's when Antonio Brown started balling after he left. What's my guy's name?
Daniel
he was
Kim
a deep
says,
threat.
Mike Wallace.
Was it Mike Wallace? Maybe it was Mike Wallace. I think it was
Mike Wallace. Was a deep threat that they ended up trading. Santonio Holmes was the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I remember Santonio Holmes. That was before. Yeah, I think it was Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace was the deep threat that you're talking about. But Sanders, Sanders was good, man. He was a good receiver. Yeah, Pittsburgh, they know what they're doing as far as evaluating that receiver position. They're doing something over there. But Daniel Kim says, I think last year before AP was the worst I've seen him in my lifetime. Everyone looked burnt. Yeah, that's. You know what though? It's hard for me to say because I remember the early 2000s. You know what I mean? I remember the dark year, Raider dark years after that Super Bowl run.
People forget, man. People forget that Lane Kiffin attempted a 70-yard field goal, bro. like that's bro. It's say what you will about Josh McDaniels. He was a horrible head coach, but at least he was trying to win. Like Lane Kiffin was actively attempting to sabotage the team, like purposely.
Art Shell, bro. Art Shell.
Oh, bro.
Art Shell
yes.
and who was the offensive coordinator? It was some guy running a bed and breakfast. Tom Walsh.
Damn, Tom Walsh. Yeah, Tom Walsh.
And the reason why I say Tom, because at the time he was out the NFL. He was running a bed and breakfast. I'm like, what? Like they just hired him like that? Is that normal?
Bro.
Like to hire someone off the street like that and
hadn't worked in the NFL since the early 90s, bro. Like
man.
It was like you're the guy that's gonna like. Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's a whole different conversation. But yeah, we've seen some crazy things as Raider fans, man. But like I said, we appreciate the support. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Clack in, clack out at this point. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate the support. Any last words for the people? What to look forward to? We do got a show coming up this Thursday. Be on the lookout for that with Big Mike. I think this is going to be the last week of OTAs.
So we got the OTAs. Was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Then I think we got the mandatory mini camp. I want to say it's the 11th through the 13th. Then we take the long break, and then it's training camp, man. So we'll probably get some interviews between now and our show on Wednesday. And hopefully we'll be able to break those down. Hear from some more coaches. I mean, hopefully we get to hear from. I would like to hear from, UCLA alum Ricky Manning Jr. Maybe hear from Edgar Bennett. That will be nice as well. And maybe from our running backs coach as well. Cadillac, I think those are some coaches we have yet to hear from, so it'd be nice to hear from them if we're able to get those guys up there.
That's true. Cadillac Williams is the running back coach. Oh man, all right. And is this his first time being an NFL running back coach? I think he was college, and then this is his first.
He was college coach. Yeah, he was college. He was head coach for interim head coach for a little while, and I think they didn't bring him back. So. Yeah, man, I would definitely love to hear from him, man. Love to hear from him. They got to play for Gruden too, man. So that'll be interesting. Interesting.
David said it's his first time. Yeah, man. Shout out to him, man. Hopefully he does a great job. I know everybody's gonna be. It's a good move for him because if the Raiders kill it at running back, the running game, the committee that they're gonna be running, led by Zamir White. That's a big shout out to, Cadillac Williams, you know what I mean? Because Zamir White is a first-time starter. So as much as we believe in talent, coaches do play a factor too. Coaches definitely play a factor. Hey, but look, man. We've been on here for a little bit longer than we expected, man. But not too long, but we just started a little bit late tonight, so we appreciate the support. I'm going to say this one more time, man. Hey, look, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, clock in. At this point, clock out, and go ahead and hit that for us because we're going live on both our channels. So we appreciate the support, man. Like I said, be on the lookout. We're gonna have a show, the collab, and you know what? Hopefully, we got a name by then, and let us know because we're trying to figure out a name for our show with Big Mike that happens every week on Thursday. So let us know in the comment section if you have any ideas. We narrowed it down a little bit. But if you guys have some ideas on what to call the show coming up this Thursday with Big Mike, let us know in the comment section. Let us know in the chat. But most importantly, the comment section so we can put that down, throw it in the hat, and we'll come up with a name soon. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. You already know what it is, man. Hey, look, man, it's that time, man. My God, I'm out, man. Whew. Great show.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.